are you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. Today is our second event for Gary's presentations. It is success in the good times or bad. And as you know, he's doing this for a group only at no cost. So thank you so much, Gary.
My pleasure.
As you know, Gary Varnell has been a best-selling author on leadership and has been a speaker, trainer since 1989. I mean, what can we say about him, right? 35 years of corporate business experience and business ownership experience, 8 years as a mortgage loan originator, and has held a license, a real estate license, in the state of Arizona for 4 years. I mean, he wrote Believe, Ideal Leadership, and you have a new book, correct, Gary?
Yes. Well, the books that I have are, I shared them the last time, but Belief is what we talked about last time, and that's about success principles. And this time, this is about Ideal Leadership is about the second part of business. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is the art of business.
Excellent. So the stage is all yours, Gary. I'm going to make you the host. And thank you everyone for being here.
So I can share now?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. One second, everyone. Okay. Sorry about that, ladies. Slideshow. It is not doing it again. We even practiced this. 1 second, let me make sure I can do it again. Okay, so it's not going to, so I will skip the slides that I'm not supposed to show you. So, but we're gonna start this from the beginning. I'll pull this all the way up. So today I'm gonna talk about the art of business. And the reason I call it that is because there's science and there's art. The science of business is knowing how to write the contracts, mastering your presentations, mastering your listing agreements, mastering the skills of the business. And that's what we talked about the last time. This time, what I want to share with you is the art of business. And the art is all about you. It's about influence. And the reason that I say that is because influence is the key to the art of business. Because when you can influence other people, you have the ability to change their thoughts, their beliefs, and their actions. It means that people will follow you voluntarily. They will refer business to you voluntarily, and that's what influence is all about. Years and years ago, back in the ancient times, there was a guy named Aristotle. And Aristotle wrote something called rhetoric. He was talking about success in business and in life. And what he came up with were 3 parts of life. One was logos, which is logic. The second part is pathos, which is passion. And the third part was ethos, which is ethics. And the key thing here is ethics is huge because ethics is character. Ethics is integrity. Ethics is all the character traits that it takes to create influence. So here are some questions that you can think about. Are you working on becoming the best version of yourself daily? Or do you just go through life? Are you always working to improve? That's a great question because I think it's really important that we continue to improve. Christian and I were talking about that just prior to, I think I have to admit this individual. Just prior to coming on, we were talking about that, living a life of excellence, and I'm going to talk more about that. And are you living a whole life of integrity? And I'm going to get real specific about this because this, you either have it or you don't. It will create business or it will destroy business. So those are some things I want you to think about. And at the end of this, I'm going to email Christian a test I have. It's an integrity test. So obviously we have to be honest with our answers to really figure out where we are. So when I finish this, I will send that to her to send to all of you. So what we're talking about today is character equals influence. Who we are. We either repel people or we attract people based on who we are as individuals. If you want to be the go-to real estate agent or the leader that people follow voluntarily, it's all about who you are as a person. It's all about your integrity. It's all about your honesty and your trust. So this is one of the biggest things that you can do, is to work on those things. So what creates influence is, again, who we are. You know, people, when they look up to you, they admire you and they respect you, they will do business with you. If they like you, they'll do business with you. These are all traits of character. They're not skills. These are who you are as an individual. And the more influence you have, it increases your referrals. The last time I shared with all of you, in real estate, when your business is really mature, 66% of your business is referrals. But if you want that person that they want to do business with, if you're not that person that they want to follow, then they're not going to refer. And it's huge how this works. I have a financial advisor, and he's really good. He's got character. He's got integrity. He's helped us make a lot of money in our financial packages. And I refer him without him even asking. Anyone that says something about finances, I give him his name and number every time. That's who you want to be. You want to be that person. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because it does change your client's thoughts, beliefs, and actions. That's huge. Because if and we're not talking about persuading, I'm going to get into that in a moment, but we're talking about just being able to change it based on who you are, how you act, how you treat them, listening to them, and showing them what they need. And when you do this, people voluntarily want to work with you. So I want you to take a moment, and if you want to unmute, you can, and think about someone that you have looked up to in the past. Maybe it was a boss, maybe it was a friend, maybe if you played athletics, it was a coach. And think about one word that would describe them. The person that I think about was someone that I trusted. So do any of you want to share? What about you, Christian? What about you for a word?
I think something that I really value on people that makes me look up to them is integrity. When I see that things are being done right, and the drive to be better and do business is there, but they don't just want to do business, they want to do better and they want to do it right. So I think that's something that I really admire. And it takes time to build business the right way, right? So that's why it's very important for me, and I do remember those persons, during my career, and like when I was in banking, different places that I've been on, what I look into people, and it's always integrity. You can buy that. That's them.
Anyone else have one word? I think of trust. I think of honesty. I think of caring. I think of all kinds of different words, good listening skills. But I've asked this of so many people, executives, salespeople in corporate America, real estate presentations I've done. I've asked this question every time, and they all say similar words. In fact, here's the most common: honesty, passion, vision, empowering, fairness, decisiveness, good listening skills, and ability to communicate, courage, and positive attitude. I want you to know that those 10 words are almost always said by someone. And the neat thing is, and the interesting thing is, that it always comes out this way: 8 out of 10 words are character traits. These aren't skills. The only 2 that I mentioned were good listening skills and an ability to communicate. Those are skills. So that just tells you how important character is for people you look up to, admire, and respect. So to me, that is something that is it's just something you have to know, because it's so important. And here's some of those words that you'll see. And the reason that it's so important is because, think about it, who decides whether they're going to buy the house or not? You or them? You do. I mean, they do, excuse me. So if they are the ones that make the decision, they make the decision whether they're going to follow you or not. They make the decision whether they're going to refer you or not. So having influence is such a key part of your business. And becoming that person takes work. You got to work on yourself to become that person of integrity. It's all about you. Influence is a gift. They give it to you. They give you the referrals. They buy the house through you. They follow you voluntarily. It's a gift to you. Influence is a gift. And it's not persuading people, because you can see persuasion versus influence. Persuasion is about what you do to other people. You're convincing them. And you know what, I'm a pretty good arguer when I need to be. But the thing is, overcoming objections and those kinds of things. And those are skills that we need to have. But this is about influence, not persuading, not pushing. I always think my dad was for a short time, worked in a used car lot. And they were always so pushy. And you don't want to be that person. And they're not all like that, but in his car lot, that's how some of them were. And they had a bad reputation because of it. You want to influence people because of who you are. It's like the difference between hunting and fishing. And I'm sure that most of you are not hunters or fishers, but I want to use this as an analogy because it actually works really, really well as an analogy. Because in hunting, if you are walking through the forest and you have a gun, what do you think the animal's going to do? Anybody? He's going to run. He's scared. You're going to shoot him. But if you're fishing, you have a nice shiny lure and you're trying to lure that fish in to bite that hook, right? So that's influence, and hunting is more like persuading. So you want to, and the great thing about this analogy is most of you, not most of you, a lot of people in real estate I know farm a certain area. Well, that's your fish pond. The great thing is the first thing you need is fish. And in your business, everybody is a potential client. If they're renting, someday they're going to buy. If they are already owning a home, someday they're going to buy a new home. So you get a listing and a sell. So you have a fish pond full of fish. You just have to wait for them to bite. So you got to go where they're biting. You got to reach out to those people who are ready to buy, who are ready to sell, who are ready to stop renting and buy that home. And the great thing about this is we are the presentation, we're the bait. So if we're a really nice, shiny lure that they like, that they trust, that has integrity, that is honest, who is the character type person that they want to be around, you're the one that's going to get it. That sets you apart from everyone else. And the key in your business, because there are so many real estate agents, is to set yourself apart. Areas of influence that I'm going to be talking about, these are kind of golden rules, and I'm just going to go through them because I'm going to go in more detail, but undivided integrity, and that's living a whole life. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time with that because that's the foundation of everything. The positive attitude I talked about the last time, but I'm going to talk about it here a little bit differently because, again, we are the billboard to the world. And our attitude comes out, even if you're wearing a mask, they can see a smile in your eyes. They can hear it in your voice. They can see it in how you act and treat people, what you say and how you say it. Service, you're in a service business, and we have to care about people. If we don't care about them, they know. If we aren't listening to them, they'll know. And if you don't listen to them and show them the kinds of homes that they want to see, then they don't think you care about them because you're not listening to them. And then living a life of excellence is something that Christian and I were talking about in more detail a moment ago, and I'm going to go into detail with all of you about that now. Because to stand out, we have to be looked up to, admired, and respected. Living a life of excellence is how we do that. And I'm not talking about being perfect. What I'm talking about is doing the best with what you have. In fact, this first one, physical appearance. Last time I had a tie on, but now I have a coat on. You can't see the bottom half, but I look good up here. And the thing is, we have to look good. We have to have that physical appearance because First impressions matter. And as ladies, you have to dress for the opportunity, not the opportunity. I was going out with my wife with a real estate agent a while back. Actually, it's been about 2 years. And she came with a top so low that her chest was showing and everything else. Guess what? That offended my wife. So you have to dress for the opportunity, professional, clean, neat. We don't have to be supermodels, but we want to look our best. That's why even though I'm on video, I wanted to wear a suit today because this is how I present myself. This is who I am. Our emotional health is very important. I know that ladies are great at this. They share with their friends things that are going on in their lives and they can work through those problems. Men are not so good. I tell men all the time, you need to get a counselor. You need to talk to people because when we are emotionally strong, that's something that people look up to, admire, and respect. And if we're not taking care of those problems, if we're not taking care of those emotions, then we can't have that. Intellectual intelligence. Another thing that's huge, that's working on yourself. That's mastering your contracts, mastering your presentations, being the best real estate agent you can be and the best person you can be by continuing to grow. Spiritual depth's on here. And I'm not talking about thumping a Bible. What I'm talking about here is in history. If you think about some of the greatest leaders in history, they have had strong spiritual beliefs. And when you believe in something strongly, no matter what that is, if you believe in it strongly, people admire that quality, that you have belief in that you stay strong with that belief. Relationships is also important. As real estate agents, you're out on weekends, you're out in the evening sometime, you're away from your family. Spend time with your family, with your friends to build those relationships, because if you're feeling guilty all the time when you're gone, that's going to show. So build strong relationships with friends and family and keep those, hold those dear. That time will go away and you won't have it down the road. So make sure it's right. Community service is also important. People that make a lot of money and are very successful, people look up to. But when they give money away, when they help those in need, they are even more respected, more admired. So community service is something that people will admire about you if that's something that you actually participate in. So the last time we spoke, I talked about mechanical skills. For your industry, writing that buying contract, writing that listing agreement, those addendums that you do, mastering your presentations, your communication skills, your listening skills, your people skills. But all in all, as I mentioned earlier, influence is all about you. You have to have the skills or people won't respect you for what you do, but you have to have the character for people to want to do business with you. So your moral compass is everything. People can tell when you are not a person of integrity. And the thing is, again, we're not supposed to be perfect, but character creates influence. And that's all about your moral character, what you believe in, the things you do, how you do them, what you say. This is a great question. And I'd love if you're taking notes, write it down and think about this later. Who are you when no one's watching? Because that's who you really are. So the more we work on ourselves, the more we're going to like that person when no one's watching. And when people see me, the way you see me now is the way I always am, because I've worked on myself to become the person that I like. And my hope is that other people will like me as well. But I always work on my character and I always watch doing the right things because I don't want to be in a position where I'm not doing those. So now we're going to talk about influence, some of the traits. So in life, you know, everyone talked about the law of attraction many, many years ago. And here's how simple I see it. You either repel people or you attract people. That's it. And that is based on who we are. So the key is, right here is the next one, is integrity. And I want to go into more detail about this one because this is the foundation. So I'm 63 years old. And so high school math was a long time ago. But I'm going to break this number down for you. If you remember high school math, there was something called an integer. An integer is a whole number. So integrity is basically saying we live a whole life. This isn't being perfect, but what it does say is if we make a mistake, if we tell an untruth, that we correct it, we admit it, and then we don't do that again. Because if we don't, you lose trust. And if there's no trust, there's no business. So integrity is so big in my mind. This is the foundation to everything. That's why I want to send Christian that integrity test for you to look and see where you are and some things that you might want to work on, because it is so important. So I'm going to go to another one. So trust is another one. I just said, if you don't have trust, if you don't have integrity, you have no trust. You have no trust, you have no business. You don't have followers. You don't have anything, because if they can't trust you, they don't like you. They don't like you, they're not doing business with you. And you guys, you represent the largest purchase anybody will ever make in their life. Anybody. So if anyone needs integrity and trust, everyone needs it, but you need it really bad because it means so much because of the magnitude of what you sell. Honesty is right in there with trust. You know, no one's perfect. And I'm not going to tell you that I've never told an untruth, but when I do, I admit it. When I do, I apologize for it. When I do, I let them know that this will never happen again. And that's all we can do as humans, because we are human. And that's what's going to happen. Fairness in your industry is huge. I don't know if any of you have ever represented both sides, but I was selling a home in North Scottsdale, a big house, 5,000 square foot home. And my real estate agent brought the buyer and he represented us. It's so important to be fair, to be unbiased on what you're doing and how you're doing it. This is business. It should always be business. Be fair. And that's another quality that people will look up to and admire. Confidence. This is something, when you are a confident individual, people really admire that. When you walk into a room and it lights up, people admire that. And that confidence comes from you having belief in yourself. And I talked about this the last time. Having belief in yourself, having faith in what you're doing, being confident. When you master all the skills that you have to master in your business, you have confidence. When you know your market, you have confidence. When you look good, you have confidence. And when you walk into a room with your shoulders back and your head held high, people notice that because they don't have that. This is all about setting you apart from everyone else, because there's one or two real estate agents in Arizona, I think, maybe 3 or 4. So you want to set yourself up for success by being that person of confidence. Positive attitude. And I'm going to talk about this differently today because we all know hopefully we all know what that is. But it's being optimistic. And I want to break down the word optimistic. If you think about optimistic, the word OPT, which is the root word, I want to make sure I have this right. When you opt to do something, you're opting to do it. You're choosing to do something. And if you think about an optometrist, an eye doctor, he's helping you see more clearly. When you're choosing to see more clearly and do things more clearly, that's optimism. When you're seeing to do things more positively, that's great. I know so many people who have problems and they say, why me? When you say, why me, you're playing the victim. What can I learn from this is the question that we need to ask. How can this help me in the future? Not why is this happening to me? Because then you fall back into a shell, you lose that confidence and you lose who you are and you lose perspective. So it's very important for you to think about that. The next thing I want to talk about is caring. I mentioned this earlier. We were looking for a home probably 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. And the agent had 15 homes on a list. 6 of them didn't fit anything we've asked for. So that agent did not listen to us. She did not care one thing about us because she showed us things that had nothing to do with what we wanted. They were in the wrong part of town. They didn't have enough bedrooms. They didn't have enough bathrooms. They didn't have an office. So if you're not listening to your clients, if they don't feel that you care about them, there's other agents that do care about them, that do want that business. We don't want to be commission breath. We don't want to be that person that just wants to sell. Take interest in your clients. Take interest in what they're looking for, what they need. And when you do, they will, it's funny. If you talk to people and you don't ask anything but questions about them, they think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They'll think, oh my God, that was, you never said one word. You just asked them questions. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, tell me about that. People love to talk about themselves. They think you care about them when you ask questions about them. It's not about you. It's about them in your business. On books that could really help. I think we lost connection.
I think we did. Can everybody see us?
Yeah, you're back now.
We're back now?
Yeah. You're back.
Okay, we have to stop sharing. Sorry about that. I don't know why we lost. Okay, so I can send some lists of things that can help you or people to follow, because here's what the second bullet there, self-education creates success. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. In the last time we talked, I explained the successes that I had. That was all self-education. I have a formal education, but the things I did after college, after my master's degree, that's what helped me create the success I had. It helps you turn that potential into performance. It helps you prioritize those activities that I talked about last time. There's activities that you do that bring in business. There's activities that you do that don't bring in business. Focus on the productive activities and know your strengths. I coach a lady here in town who's a real estate agent for a company called HomeSmart, and she came to me to coach her, and she was right at the peak of where she couldn't do much more business by herself. And she was doing all these activities that someone else could do. And so I said, we put a plan together. She hired someone and she quadrupled her business. So she could pay that person and she still made triple what she made the year before. So know your strengths. Find other people to do the things that you aren't good at, or taking your time away from making it rain, from making those come in, making those sales come in, and then keep becoming a better version of yourself, because that is the key to influence, is becoming a better version of yourself. So the question is, what kind of real estate agent will you choose to be? It's your choice. Our life is our choice. The part is us. So when you're a person of excellence, when you're a person of integrity, when you're a person that has influence, when you have strong character, you are different than everyone else out there, and people will know it based on what you do, how you do it, how you treat them, how you talk to them, and all those other things. That will set you apart, and you have to set you apart when there's thousands of agents. In fact, the quote down there is one that I wrote several years ago, but change is a constant in life. Life changes all the time. Personal development is an option. Transforming into the person you should become is a choice. So that is huge to me, is choosing to transform yourself, choosing to work on yourself, choosing to set yourself apart. These are all things that will make your business explode while those around you don't. And here's some things that you can do to help get your mind in the right perspective, the right direction. Write a 30-second commercial and then read it several times a day. And in this commercial, think about things like, I am a real estate of integrity. I am the best real estate in Arizona. I sell 10 houses a month. Make it as if it's current, but write what you want to be. I am a person that cares about others, all those different things. And here's why. If you read that and you're thinking about that, your mind will work to create that. It will show you the books you need to listen to. It'll show you the things that you need to read. It'll show you the people that you need to be around. So you need to do that. Follow someone as a positive influence. There's so many people out there that you could, but you should start your day every morning. You don't have to, but why not start your day positive so your day could continue in that direction? Read books and listen to CDs in your car. Listen to something that's going to improve you. Read things that are going to improve you. You can always read fun books, but do these things to work on yourself. Look for a coach or a mentor. I had groups that mentored me. These were people who had success, and I found them and asked if I could join their groups. You can mentor yourselves, hold each other accountable, find a coach to help you do that. But if you want to have great success, there's no one that has had ultimate success in life has ever done it by themselves. Never had someone that helped them, shared ideas with them, shared wisdom with them, and helped them do that. And then never stop improving yourself. Never. Most of you were on this call before, so I'm not going to go through these, but for me to start up in poverty, in fact, we were the poorest family in a ghetto. And for me to start there and reach the levels of running a company in my late 30s is, to me, a miracle. Shouldn't have happened. But because of the principles I shared with you the last time and the art of business that I'm sharing with you this time, I was able to run a company by the age of 38. We were multimillionaires by the time we were in our early 50s. And that success is not to boast about. That success is only because of the things I've shared with you. The things that I've shared with you will work. The things that I shared with you, if you use them, if you think about them and implement them, can change the trajectory of your life. And with that, I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. Have any questions for me?
Hi, Gary, it's Cheryl Ladd. I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. I'd love, again, thank you for sharing this with Christian. I think it's fabulous. And, we're all going through some crazy times. I think it's important that everybody take a minute, in the business that we're in, whether it's real estate, mortgage, and even just life, our lives all changed in an instant. The market's good, housing is great, but at the end of the day, if we aren't working on ourselves and we're not happy, it is going to reflect and people are going to feel it. So, I sent not too long ago that said the difference between a billionaire and a pauper is each of them have the same 24 hours in a day, but it's what they do with them.
Exactly.
It is. And I think attitude is everything. I think you just have to be focused on what you can control and just feel grateful right now. So thank you. I'm very grateful for your time.
I appreciate what you said, and you're welcome. I like being here. I love sharing. My passion is to help others. So for me to do this for Christian and for all of you is an honor first. But the thing that I hope that all the people, everyone on this get is what you just said. Yeah. We have time right now. We have time right now to work on ourselves. So, and when you're driving in your car, if you're listening to something that's positive, something that can help you transform from that worm to the butterfly, that's huge. That's huge. You have to set yourself apart in this kind of an industry and in this type of a market.
And also take the time, to invest on ourselves. Sometimes it's hard for us to take a break. And I can say myself, I just go, 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 go. But like I can say that last week, at the end of last week, I was feeling a little, I wake up every day and I'm like brainwashing myself, right? Posting positive things and thinking about today's gonna be a great day, just set in my mind, but I felt it. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I need to disconnect and I need to disconnect. So I booked a trip, went to Miami for a few days, came back, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. But it was so needed. Like I needed it so much. And, just want to share, ladies, that sometimes it's hard and it can be a few hours or maybe a few minutes a day. Just meditate or set your mind straight. But what you're sharing with us is not, like we don't know some things about it, but it is hard for us to set our minds into it. So I really appreciate the message and what you're doing for us.
Thank you, Christian. But this is a reminder. Every one of you have probably heard these things from the last talk and this talk, maybe 100 times. The question is, are we using it? Are we implementing it? Are we applying it to our lives? Are we working on ourselves? That's really the only question. Because if you're going to spend the time is valuable. What Cheryl said is so true. We only have so many hours in a day. So if you're going to use this time to listen to this kind of information, use it.
It's there. So what document are you gonna send over so we can all work on the presentation of what you were talking about?
Yeah, I'll email you once we're done. It's an integrity test. It's going to ask you some questions, but don't answer it as if it's what you want to be. Answer it as if it's who you really are, so that you can really reflect on where you are and maybe some areas where you need to improve. I have a leadership test as well if you would like that, but at least that one. And on the next time we talk, I mentioned the book Go for No. I have a training on overcoming adversity. This is about going for the no's. Nobody likes rejection. Everybody hates rejection.
Yeah.
But this will change your mindset. And the lady that I mentioned that I coach, who's a real estate agent, she and her team went from 25 sales a year to 120 sales a year. And this book, this mindset shift, was part of it.
Gary, I will add, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that Go for No book is a fabulous read.
Oh, it's great.
I will tell you that when I joined my company, this is almost 10 years ago, originally we were iMortgage and then we were bought by Loan Depot. But as a rule, every time we had a new hire, that book was given to them.
That's perfect. And it's so short, Cheryl.
Book. And it's a quick read, ladies. Don't hesitate to grab it. It's just a great book, and there's a lot of value in it.
It's only 74 pages. It's so short.
Yeah.
I can even read it. It is. But we're going to go through. I have a fill in the blank that you'll all have. I'll email it prior to the conversation where, as I'm talking, we can fill in those blanks about the Go for No's and why it's important and how it will change your mindset, but also change your business.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Ladies, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I see a lot of muted ladies. Tina, everybody, Doreen, you're all muted. I'm here.
Good morning.
All questions are good questions. Hi there.
Gary, don't have a question, but wanted to say thank you for the positive message.
Yes.
It's amazing and appreciate it.
I
feel like you always have to continue to improve yourself daily, and anything you can learn from anyone is a positive push forward. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I kind of had a busy morning, so I kind of missed a little bit there, but will we get a copy of the recording by chance?
Of course.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, good. Yeah, if it's recorded. You know what? The one thing is that if you listen to this, just like when I read certain books every 6 months, and every time I read them, I see something else because I wasn't there mentally when I read it the last time. So it's important for you to, listen to things more than once. If it's something that you like and you thought it was good information, because you'll find something the next time that you didn't hear this time because you were thinking about something else. Maybe you were taking notes or something like that. But, read books that you think are impactful more than once. Listen to things that are impactful more than once, because before you know it, it will become part of who you are, not just what you're listening to. In fact, Christian, have I sent you the 7 decisions?
No, not yet.
Okay, this is something that I'll send with the integrity test. There's a guy named Andy Andrews who is a national speaker, author, best-selling author, and he's also the mindset coach for the Alabama football team. And he wrote a book called The Traveler's Gift. And it's a fiction book with real life people in it and success principles of 7 decisions for a successful life. These are all 1 page. Every paragraph has a impactful statement in it. And if these are things that you read, I read them all 7. It took like 20 minutes to read all 7 every day for a month until it became some of the ways I thought, because it made so much sense to make decisions based on these perspectives. So I'll send that to you also. This is something great to share with your group. In fact, everyone that I coach, I have them read one every week based on how the week went or how they want the week to go. So that way we're thinking about how we want things to go, how things to transpire. We get to direct our lives, ladies. We are the writer, the director, and the star of our own movie. So write your movie, write the ending you want, and live that life.
That's an amazing message. Gary, where can they find more information about you, about your books? Where can they buy the books, and what can we expect on our next meeting?
Well, the books are they're on Amazon and all over the place, but GaryVarnell.com and then a /store. And it's a secure website. If they come from me, they're less money. I have a special, buy both books for $19.95 and then plus shipping. And then they're autographed when I have them. Not that my signature means anything, but at least you've seen me and you could have an autographed copy. And the next time that we talk, we're going to really try to shift your mindsets to go forward with overcoming adversity, to go forward with the no's, to understand that it's not no to you, it's just not yet. In your business, if they're not ready to buy a house, there's no business. And if they say no, it's not no to you, it's no, I'm not ready. And this helps you shift your mindset to where those just go off like water on a duck's back. And that's what you want. You want to, it doesn't stop you at all. You just move right past it, because failures are the way to success. It's not a stop sign. It's a go through sign. It's just a caution sign. Move through until they're ready to buy and keep in contact with them. So that's next time. I'll have a different suit next time too. I get to wear them when I do this. I haven't worn them in a while, so no presentations in person, but I can at least wear the shirt, the tie, and the coat here.
Awesome. Questions, ladies? Something that you would like to add?
No questions, but thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, MK.
All right, are we done?
I guess that we can complete the presentation, Gary.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the next one. So those 2 are business. The next one is overcoming adversity. The art, the science of business, and now overcoming adversity. All right, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.